Hi, I'm Kenton Shepard, and I'd like to give you an overview of my residential template for Spectora. This template has about 6,500 comments in it, and the way I write comments is to identify the problem, tell how serious it is, and then make a recommendation. So let's start at the top of the sections column in inspection details. Inspection conditions is basically weather conditions. Utilities on or off, attendees. There's a pretty good selection of different attendees here, so you can tell who attended the inspection. Animals on site, occupancy, that's whether it's occupied, empty, staged, etc. And for condominiums, you have a couple of different disclaimers. They vary a little bit, so you have some choice. Under home site, you may or may not want to include these, so you have the choice. I've got a pretty good roof section. I wrote most of InterNACHI's roof inspection courses. And the first choice up here is roof reference, and there's a lot of reference material scattered throughout this template. And the way you access that, most of it is in the items column, which we're in right now. So you mouse over a title, slide your cursor to the right, and click the pencil icon. And there are about 190 links, and these are all inspector-only information, although you can copy and paste them into a comment if you want to. So this is the roof section, so these are all roof-related information. They go to a page with lists of concerns and explanations about different conditions and a fair amount of photographs. If you scroll down some more, this is a link to building codes to the roof assemblies section of the IRC. Not exactly the IRC though, as you're going to see in just a second. We'll select this link, click that little icon on the left, and it takes you to UP codes where you can look up the building codes for every state and quite a few cities. So if you drop down to Florida, you're looking at the Florida building codes, not just the plain old IRC. And this lists most of the codes you'd want to take a look at. It's got the National Electric Code, at least the Florida version, the Florida version of the IRC, that sort of thing. So that's pretty helpful. And I know it's not a code inspection, but both building codes and home inspection are concerned with safety. So if you have questions about whether or not something is safe and you want to look it up in the code book, you have that choice. Roof structure exterior is what you see when you're walking the roof, flying a drone over it. Basically, you're viewing it from outside the building. Common roof-related elements. These are things that are common to quite a few different roof covering materials. So inspection method, roof configuration, underlayment, general roof flashing, that would be like roof edge flashing. Flashings that are specific to certain kinds of roof covering materials, like step flashing for asphalt shingles, that would be listed in asphalt shingles. Underlayment, general roof flashing, roof drainage, vents on the roof, chimney above the roof, skylight, tree damage, snow guards. And next is the steep slope roof covering materials. These are listed in the order in which you're most likely to encounter them during inspections. So asphalt shingles is first, and it actually has quite a few links on just its own. There's 15 different links. Also, I've included as an Excel spreadsheet a list of recommendations, custom recommendations. And there are about 160 different recommendations. I'm going to show them to you right now, at least part of them. So you come to recommendations, click that list, and you'll see that these are different from the roof contractor, electrical contractor, the basic recommendations that come with the default template. These actually attach to your account, and these are on my account. So they aren't attached to the template. So when you buy my template, I include that Excel spreadsheet, and you have to install them yourself. Unfortunately, I wish they'd change that, but maybe sometime in the future. Anyway, also for default locations, I've expanded that list too, and I also supply that as an Excel spreadsheet. Steep slope roof covering materials: asphalt shingles, concrete tile, clay tile, metal roof, stone slate, composite slate, roll roofing, wood shakes and shingles, and fiber cement. And low slope roof systems, called systems because they typically consist of 3 or 4 layers instead of just underlayment and a roof covering material. If you look at the reference material for built-up roof, and these are called reminder windows, you can see right there, you can just barely see it, they use gray font. There's a link to inspecting built-up roof membranes, but also for both standard and metric rolls. If it's installed correctly, you can measure the exposure and it will tell you how many plies are installed for both standard and metric rolls. So that's pretty handy. EPDM, modified bitumen, TPO, PVC, sprayed polyurethane foam, and parapet wall. For the exterior, you have grounds, underground fuel oil tanks, driveway, walkways, exterior door and windows, or door and window exteriors, exterior trim, porch, exterior stairways, balcony, patio, chimney, exterior plumbing, wall exterior conditions, exterior wall penetrations, and parge coat. The exterior vent termination section is mostly about clearances between various exhaust vents and fresh air intake vents or doors and windows. Any place that contaminants could be pulled into the home. So gas regulator clearances, gas combustion exhaust vents, window and door openings, and so on. For exterior wall covering materials, pretty much everything you're likely to encounter during a home inspection. So there's brick cladding, structural brick, composite siding, stucco and eaves, fiber cement siding, vinyl siding, wood shingle siding, metal siding, manufactured stone veneer, log veneer, pests, water features, and bridge. For decks, you've got the typical deck components. So there's a couple of disclaimers: foundation, ledger attachment, platform framing, platform flooring, guard, finish coating, stability, and basement egress in case there's a window well that is an emergency escape and rescue opening located beneath the deck. Garage, this is put together assuming that it's a detached garage, and that's why you have truss roof framing and conventional roof framing in here. Might be different from the home. General structure, foundation walls, concrete foundation walls. There was enough there to make it its own item. Cone of compression, framed floor structure, slab on grade, basement, and crawl space. For the attic, access, conditions, thermal insulation, utilities, radiant barrier, pests, and chimney. And the roof structure is right after the attic. The roof section is right after the roof structure system section is right after the attic, because you're going to be looking at the roof structure from the attic, and there's no point in flipping back and forth too much between sections in the template. So, attic or roof structure ventilation, conventional roof framing, roof trusses, roof sheathing, roof framing hardware and fasteners, and fire damage. For general interior, floors, walls, and ceiling, dryer vents, lighting, interior trim, ceiling fans, exterior doors, interior doors, windows, stairways, skylights, mirrors, room ventilation, laundry room, cabinets, countertops, fire safety, emergency escape and rescue openings, environmental hazards, pests, thermal imaging, and wine cellar. For bedroom, basically typical bedroom components. I won't go through each one. Most of these we just went through in general interior also. Bathroom, typical bathroom components. So this is a hybrid template. It's mostly system by system, but it's got bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, laundry room. For kitchen, you've got cabinets, countertops, sink, disposal, dishwasher, trash compactor, range, oven, range hood, refrigerator, cooktop, built-in microwave, electrical, lighting, and skylight. For electrical, it starts basically coming off the pole with the service drop, or service lateral too. There are comments in there for for underground service. Electric meter, service entrance cables, surface panel, service grounding and bonding, subpanel grounding and bonding, branch circuits and devices, lighting, crawl space electrical, basement electrical, and there are some things in here for photovoltaic systems. I mean, you wouldn't want to give the impression that you were performing a full PV system inspection, and that's why there is a disclaimer here. And the disclaimer basically says that you may include some information about the photovoltaic system, but it should not be misconstrued as performing a full PV system inspection, unless you're qualified to do that. For plumbing, water supply and distribution, water treatment, electric and gas water heaters, water temperature, gas system, toilets, sinks, bathtubs, showers, cleanouts, drain waste and vent system, basement plumbing, crawl space plumbing, sump pump, sewage ejector, private water well, septic system, sewer scope, water softener, and water quality. For HVAC, furnace, humidifier, cooling, ducts, return air, boiler, fireplace, electric heaters, gas-fired heaters, heat pump, mini split, wood-burning appliances, and pellet stove. Environmental hazards, the typical is a pretty good selection there. Radon, flood, earthquake, hurricane, wildfire, wildlife, hillside home, lead paint, and mold. For pool and spa, it covers terminology. There's a disclaimer there. Barrier system, vessel, fill, drains, coping, cover, deck, the electrical system, pump, control systems, automatic sanitation, heat system, plumbing system, filters, pool components, ladders and things like that, water quality, and hot tub. For log home, if there are log homes in the area in which you inspect, I wrote InterNACHI's log home inspection course. So it covers wall log profiles. That's what you see when you look at the outside and the inside and sometimes how they fit together. Wall log condition, chinking, corner notches, finish coating, floor structure, log extensions, roof structure, wall log settling, wood decay, and wood destroying insects. Green building used to be a bigger thing than it is now, and it's still popular in some places. And so at least you have the option to include comments about energy conservation, healthy home features, indoor and outdoor water conservation, lighting, solar hot water, solar heating and cooling, straw bale homes, thermal insulation, and wind control features. There is a section on report writing for newer inspectors. And again, the last section is inspection reference library. The first one is the building codes. That's UP codes that we've looked at already. quick inspection reference, inspection-related forums, and inspection regulations by state. So there you have it. You can buy this template on my website at hinarratives.com or on inspectoroutlet.com. Thanks for taking the time to take a look. Again, I'm Kenton Shepard.